I think the best advice I was given, well, I'd say two things. When I was younger, everybody told me not to be an actor. To this day, I say that to people who come up to me and say, I'm thinking of going into acting, what do you think? I say, absolutely not. It's a terrible idea, don't do it. Because that's what everyone said to me. And I think if you're gonna make it in this business that is so full of rejection and hardship, you need to believe in yourself despite what everybody you love and trust tells you. And it's a very personal journey. And so that was really helpful. I think, you know, the advice to stay away from this career was really helpful in my own understanding that it was that important that I pursue it. The other advice I would say, my high school acting teacher, Jerry Specca, who had a huge influence on me and Ben and Casey, 5 words, he said, just do your work, kid. And he repeated that so many times to me, just do your work, kid. And that is kind of what I can always retreat to. You know, that's my touchstone. If you know, when in doubt, just focus on my work. You know, if everything on the movie's going wrong, all right, you know, I'll make sure that my work is tight and go from there. And it's a great place to base from, and it's a good foundation. Hey Reddit, I'm Matt Damon. Ask me anything. No, it was a very easy decision. Once Paul Greengrass said he wanted to do it, I was in. But we didn't have a story. I mean, it was, you know, 9 years in the making because we didn't want to force it if it wasn't there. And so once we realized it was there, we all jumped right on board. But before that, it was, you know, an agonizing process, you know, as we tried to figure out if there was even a story to tell. I think the most challenging role that I've ever had, I think when I did Courage Under Fire and I had to lose all the weight that I lost kind of on my own, that was the most physically challenging thing I've ever done in my life. You know, I weigh probably 190 pounds right now, and I weighed 139 in that movie. And that is not a natural weight for me and not a happy weight for me, even when I was 25. So, you know, to do that was, you know, I had to run, you know, it was about 13 miles a day, which wasn't even the hard part. The hard part was the diet, which at the time I didn't know anything. All I ate was like chicken breasts, and I didn't, you know, it's not like I had you know, a chef or a nutritionist or anybody. I just kind of made it up and did what I thought I should do, and that was incredibly challenging. Yeah, no, I'm against killing in all forms. So I'd have to hold my nose and go for it with all 3. Thank you. I was always kind of bewildered by Team America. I think because it's hard for us to understand what our images are in public. I think we're not good judges of that. And when I saw myself on screen just only able to say my own name and not really that well, I kind of wondered, wow, is that how people perceive me? Like you know, at that point I was like, well, you know, I'm a screenwriter and an actor, and like, really, I can barely say my own name. So I was always bewildered by that, and I never talked to Trey and Matt about it. You know, and incidentally, I believe those two are geniuses, and I don't use that word lightly. I think they're absolute geniuses, and what they've done is awesome, and I'm a big fan of theirs. But I never quite understood that one. But I will say this, those of us who were parodied in that movie were parodied because we were against the Iraq War, and we went on the record against that war. And so history's on my side, not theirs. Definitely Pimp Slapping a knife-wielding assassin. That's kind of the first thing. You know, it has absolutely no relation to my actual life, but I get to do it when I play Jason Bourne. So, you know, I think the people who make these movies with me, and you know, there's a couple hundred of us, and we've worked on these movies for years. We love this franchise as much as you guys do, and so I think your question was funny, but you know, those moments of kind of originality in those fight scenes, I mean, that's kind of what we geek out on, and we try to think up ways to you know, incorporate that fun fighting style where Bourne is finding found objects and defending himself with them. And you know, in many ways, he's the opposite of James Bond. And where James Bond always has the right gadget, Jason Bourne never does. So he's got to just improvise. That's a great question. The thing about acting is oftentimes what happens is you end up being like a jack of all trades and a master of none. So I've had to learn things for the Bourne films, for instance, you know, like being upside down underwater in a car, you know, which required me to learn how, you know, I went to a swimming pool in Berlin every day after work and practiced being at the bottom with a scuba tank, getting my air taken away, and like tying shoes and doing small kind of menial activities without my air in order to be comfortable underwater so that I could shoot that scene. So I didn't walk away being certified as a scuba diver, which would have been probably a better use of my time, but I walked away being able to be in a car underwater, you know, and perform the scene I need to perform. So it's an odd set of skills you end up learning. Though I did for the Bourne movie start boxing, and I'd never done that before. I was 29. And I started doing it, and I really loved it. I fell in love with that sport, and so I've done that avidly ever since. So I do know how to box, but again, it's not something, I wouldn't put me in a ring against anyone. I'm an excellent fake movie fighter, not probably so good in a real fight. I think the answer to that is clear, and I'll let you fill in the blanks. Working with Robin, it almost defies description. He was one of the most generous, loving, wonderful people I've ever met. He also had, because he was such a brilliant comedian, he had this capacity to do something I've never seen on a movie set, which is when everyone started to get tired and started to flag a little bit, he would launch into stand-up. We knew it was original because he was making fun of crew members and pulling them into these bits. And it was like 15 minutes of the best stand-up ever that was just privately for us. And we would laugh and laugh and laugh, and then everybody would get this boost of energy and we'd go back to work. So I mean, I'll never be able to thank him enough for what he gave us. And in my heart, that's where he lives, as this person that I'm deeply, deeply grateful it came into my life and changed it for the better. Hi. I've never considered a hot dog a sandwich because a hot dog's a hot dog. But I mean, technically it comes between, you know, two pieces of bread, ostensibly, or one that is, you know, folded into two. And so I guess you could classify it as a sandwich. But I mean, why would you call it, then would you say it's a hot dog sandwich? I mean, that seems like a hat on a hat. So let's just keep it as a hot dog. Thanks, Reddit. Thanks, everybody. I had a great time. It was nice chatting with you. I hope you like Jason Bourne as much as we do. See ya.